and welcome to MLUC. My name is Kathy Cortez, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. I'm so glad you are here with us today, whether you're joining us in the sanctuary or connecting with us online. To those who are visiting for the first time or returning after some time away, we extend a special warm welcome to you. In this community, we serve to bring our whole selves, our joys, our heavy hearts, our questions, and our hopes. No matter who you are, who you love, you are welcome here. Leading our service today is Senior Minister Reverend John Morehouse. With him is Anaya Coop, Faith Development Assistant. The music is under the direction of our music director, David Brown, with Jody Brown on piano and Colin Bunderson, on fiddle. Our worship associate is Maureen McCarthy. We want to recognize the audio and visual team because they make it possible for you in this room to hear us and for you at home to see us and hear us. Today is a deeply significant Sunday in the life of our congregation. Immediately following our worship service, you're encouraged to grab a cup of coffee or tea and come back in, if you are a member of the church, for our annual congregation meeting. As Unitarian Universalists, we practice democratic polity, which means the future of this church rests in our collective hands. Today, we have the responsibility of practicing that democracy in three profound ways. Honoring leadership. We will vote on a transition of leadership. We look forward to voting on the dedicated leaders stepping up to guide us, while holding immense gratitude for those who have served us so faithfully in the past year. Approving the annual budget. We will vote on our annual budget, ensuring that our shared financial resources reflect and will support our values and visions for the coming year. And we renew our promise. We will vote to adopt a new congregational covenant. A covenant is not a rigid creed, it's a living promise of how we choose to be together, how we intend to treat one another, and how we return to love when we stumble. For now, please silence your electronic devices and join me in affirming our mission statement. Together, we transform lives through love, service, and our welcoming faith. I'd like to turn the mic over to Reverend John Morehouse before we move into the service.
Thank you, Kathy, and welcome everyone on this beautiful day. It has been my tradition in over 30 years of ministry now to honor an outgoing president of the Board of Trustees for their work and their service. Being the president of the board is a difficult job, and that's understating it by quite a bit. But I want you to know that I have had the fortune of working alongside several incredible presidents here, Yusara, when I first arrived, and Barbara Colton, who leaves this office now. So I'm going to ask Barbara to come forward, if you would, please. I know you don't like this, but it's only once. The gift that I chose was based on our collective experience. A bit ironic that we did not ring the meditation bell to start the service, but maybe that's appropriate because
one might think it'd be a struggle to figure out where to go with music the week after Music Sunday. But I am so grateful that for the third year in a row, MLUC's youngest fiddler, Colin Bunderson, has agreed to bring his traditional Irish music to our post-Music Sunday service. Everyone, please welcome Colin.
Our chalice lighting this morning is The Infinite Divinity by Jamie Yandel. The chalice is lit, and in the flames, the memory of our trans and non-binary ancestors do a dance of freedom and liberation, reminding us that we are whole and holy. We are loved beyond all measure, and in our refusal to accept anything less, may we know we are rooted in the infinite divinity, not relegated to the outskirts of the web of all existence, but enshrined at its core, enfleshed with stardust and fairy dust, an intentional creation of space where our many gods live. Please rise in body or spirit to join in singing our opening hymn, number 298, Wake Now My Senses.
I'm going to ask Cadence and Elise to come forward, please, and stand with us at the stage. Look here, listen, breathe. There is a pathway. You've been going along it your whole life. Maybe it's been a long road, and maybe you're just starting out. Around you, the birds call, the breeze whispers, you feel the ground beneath you, you feel the sun on your face, and as you round the curve, there is a bridge. You can't turn back, go away, you can't turn around another way. You must go forward. Who knows what is on this other side? Not we. That is a way of faith. That is a way of trust. Let us go across the bridge together.
Our bridging youth are those who are leaving high school this year, graduating, moving forward into life as young adults, perhaps working, attending college, or both. Today, we recognize each bridger as a person who has enriched our community. We will get to learn a little about what they plan to do with their lives next, looking with them eagerly across the bridge they are about to set out across. We have watched these young adults grow and learn, and we have helped them form their own beliefs and ideals. Our wish for them is that they continue to become who they most truly are. We have 2 young people participating in our recognition ceremony today. I present to you Cadence and Elise. Would each of you please share with us what you are planning to do this summer and beyond, and something you are taking with you from your upbringing in this church?
I just wanted to say thank you so much to this community for being such an important part of my upbringing. This summer, I'm going to be returning for my 2nd year to work at Keuka Water Sports in the Finger Lakes, and then this fall, I will be studying at Colgate University for biology. Something that I took away from this community is that it's so important to be yourself, and I'm so glad that I found a place and people that I feel like I can finally explore that, and I'm really grateful for all of you for helping me get there. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cadence, and I just wanted to thank everyone who has brought me to this point in my life. And this fall, I will be attending the University of Vermont, majoring in sustainability, ecology, and policy. And one thing that I really enjoyed at my time here, especially when I was younger, was moving through the faith development program from stepping stones to crafting my credo. So thank you.
Well, our world is in good hands, I have to say, with aspirations such as that and the places you're going. Thank you. We hope you know that wherever you go, you can always return here, that you will call this place your home. And we have a personal chalice for each of you and a meditation manual. And with that, let's sing the kids out.
Each month, we donate half of our offering to a worthy organization in need. The recipient of MLUC's June offering outreach is the Eastern Pennsylvania Trans Equity Project, or EPTEP, a nonprofit organization serving the trans and gender expansive community. Lilia Weber is an EPTEP board member and is here to tell us more about their work.
Good morning. And so as Maureen said, thank you, Maureen, I'm Lily Weber. Some people know me around these parts. And I'm deeply grateful and downright joyous that for this month of June, with the exception of Music Sunday, the MLC's outreach offering will be shared with the Eastern Pennsylvania Trans Equity Project. The Welcoming Congregation team proposed the Eastern Pennsylvania Trans Equity Project, or we're just going to call it EPTEP from now on, for short. And the Offering Outreach Committee agreed to take EPTEP as our outreach recipient based on the wide services that EPTEP does serve in the community. I use the word joyous because I strongly believe in the mission and organization of this organization, and having the congregations backing that means so much to me. I am committed to this organization that I've been on a board member for almost 5 years now, and currently serve as the vice chair of the board of trustees of that organization. And as serving as vice chair of EPTEP, I actually abstained from our welcoming congregation vote because I didn't want to lean it one way or the other, but it was unanimous from the welcoming congregation team that we should support this organization. And today our executive director, Corinne Goodwin, who spoke here 2 years ago, could not attend today because she was in State College yesterday, and she's doing another Pride event in Bethlehem today, and she's a crazy lady. But so back to the business here. The mission of EPTEP, and there we go, is really to empower transgender Pennsylvanians and those that love them. We want to see them thrive, and we also build community and promote justice, and now serve 42 counties in Pennsylvania, which comprises of 8 million people and 60% of the Commonwealth. And how do we do that? We accomplish the mission and a number of programs and initiatives. We got supporting services and mentoring, including 25 peer support groups, one-to-one mentoring, an info line, a resource listing that just yesterday in a Pride event, a teacher was talking to me from UUCDC, and she's like, oh, I share that with all my students that are in the LGBT spectrum because it's such a fantastic resource listing. We do advocacy that creates systemic change with community events, Transgender Day of Visibility events, Transgender Day of Remembrance, Pride programs. As I said, I think we're going to like 26 or 28 different Prides this summer. Policy development, legislative action, and help change the policies to enable trans Pennsylvanians to have a simpler life instead of a hardship. We do education and awareness, including trans topics workshops, working with medical schools and training medical students, education. We go into corporations. We work with the government, both statewide, countywide, townships, and businesses. We empowerment grants and scholarships, and this is really, no matter what higher education a student is working towards. We do legal name change, transition clothing, basic needs, and this is rent, utilities, and food in emergency because we want to keep people in their home and not put them living in their car or on the street, so that they can so they can thrive as themselves. We do scholarships, as I mentioned, and workforce development. So last year we impacted the lives of 6,000 individuals through these programs. This year we're already come close to 200 individuals with name change, provided 1,000 meals, gifted life-saving grants and life-changing and life-saving financial assistance totaling $70,000 and counting, and to about 138 trans folks. It is this last part that the need is growing in the trans community, and it is an indication that food and housing insecurity impacts the most marginalized members of our society. And this part aligns with the MLC mission to combat housing insecurity. So I just want to read a couple quotes from some of our clients. So here's one that was a rent assistance client. "You all really went above and beyond. I was in a scary situation when I applied for rental assistance. Not only was assistance provided, there was a real level of empathy through the whole process. This brought a new level of joy and hope to be supported at one of my lowest moments. Thank you for everything you all do." And here's one more. "If it wasn't for Eastern Pennsylvania Trans Equity Project, I would have been sleeping in my car right now." So those are the kind of people we're helping. And the work of EPTEP is aligned with UU principles of inherent worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, compassion and human relations, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, and the right of conscience to use in the democratic process in society at large. Society at large. I'll slow down, sorry. I'm trying to keep it under 3 minutes. All is well, as well as all the UU values of JETPIG, justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. The generosity part is the fact that EPTEP is significantly a volunteer-run organization with people volunteering their skills and abilities. So Eastern Pennsylvania Trans Equity Project thanks the Mainline Unitarian Church for selecting EPTEP as our offering outreach partner for this month of June, and this offering will now be gratefully received. Will the baskets please come forward? And there we go, cashless donations for those here or online. Please use the code on the screen. And thank you, and we'll now hear some fabulous music from Colum, David, and Jody. Thank you. It is our custom at MLUC to share our personal joys and sorrows, expecting to be heard, accepted, and supported. Candles of Community is our ritual of personal sharing and support.
After each candle is lit, please join me in saying, "We hold you in our hearts." Joe Lipton and Donna Monturo asked us to light a candle of joy. They welcomed granddaughter Kobe Marie Lipton to their family this past Wednesday. Though a bit sooner than expected, mother Courtney and daughter are doing well. Joe and Donna's son Jacob grew up at MLUC. For Joe, Donna, Courtney, Jacob, and Kobe Marie, we hold you in our hearts. Kathy Landy asks us to light a candle of celebration. She writes, "After nearly 6 months of planning and preparation, I have sold the house that belonged to my husband and me and downsized to live in an apartment. This was a major undertaking for me since my husband was unable to participate in most of the activity required. I do want to extend a special note of thanks to those of you who assisted me in my process. I consider MLUC to be an extension of my biological family. You always come through when I need help, and I hold you in my heart." For Kathy and her husband, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle in honor of LGBTQIA Pride Month, affirming and celebrating the inherent worth and dignity of each and every member of the LGBTQIA+ community in the continued fight for the right to live and love authentically. For everyone in the LGBTQIA+ community, we hold you in our hearts. Lastly, we light a candle for all those unspoken thoughts and concerns held in our hearts that may be too deep for words, and we hold you in our hearts.
Thank you, Maureen. Several months ago, we announced very exciting news that after several months of searching, we had indeed found our new social justice director. My colleague, Reverend Lisa Shalansky, joins us from the Philadelphia area, where they live with their spouse, Molly, and their 2-month-old daughter, Sophie, new parents. The month they are completing 3 years of their UU Church at Washington Crossing outside of Trenton, where they currently serve as the Minister of Justice and Pastoral Care. Reverend Lisa is of dual faith and can often be found at services at the Reconstructionist Synagogue on Sabbath. Please welcome her and she says a few words. Reverend Lisa, please come forward.
Thank you all. I'm Reverend Lisa. My pronouns are they and she, and I am so incredibly delighted to be with you all. It says a lot that your community has committed to a full-time social justice director, and I am so incredibly excited to respond to the incredible needs of the world right now in a way that is inclusive of all ages, of all abilities, to really think about the ways that we can do this work together starting in July. So I am so excited for this work that we can do together and all the ways that we can think about that. So thank you again.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you, David. Thank you, Jody. Also always want to recognize Bill D'Agostino back there with the amazing camera work that he does every single Sunday. Bill, thank you. I like to say I found my faith in the lives of my children. I think that's true for a lot of us, right? Whether we have biological kids or not, however we identify young people in our lives, they are part of our faith journey. I think children here are part of our faith journey. In fact, they're the reason for our faith journey right now. I love listening to kids in the service. Sometimes moms say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, my baby's crying." I said, "Oh, absolutely not. Bring on the babies. We love the babies." That sounded a little bit like somebody I know. I didn't mean it that way. I loved our service last Sunday. Who was here for Music Sunday? Yeah. Incredible, incredible. And I love how Jody told that story about the invisible seed from the piano. Master at improvisation. And reminding us all that we are the stuff of stars. We're literally made from the stuff of stars. So by extension, we are all related. So I like to hear the kids because they are my relations, they are your relations. And I'd like to proclaim from this day forward that we're a no shushing church. Can I get an amen to that? No shushing? All right. I want to hear from the kids. I want them to be seen. I want them to be heard because they are part of the future of our faith. All right. It was a warm night in August of 1984. Frances was giving birth to our middle daughter at home. She was well into many, many hours of labor, and when our daughter finally emerged, I saw a glow. And I don't mean metaphorically, I mean literally a glow around this child. And I felt this strange and powerful voice in my head that whispered, "Now is the time." What? Now is the time for what? Sleep? No, not sleep. Now is the time. What does that mean? I put the experience aside. I didn't know what it meant. I was grateful that our daughter was here. I was grateful that my wife was safe. I was grateful that we had gotten through so much. I didn't have language for this then, but what I was having was a religious experience. My first of many. And it would take me a lifetime in this call into ministry to discover just what that voice was trying to tell me. Whatever that voice is, angel, God, mind, spirit, it was telling me that this was the time. This was the time to devote life to other people, to devote life to a deeper understanding of who we are, to devote life to the sense of justice that should be within us all. And as my faith became deeper and paradoxically more mysterious, I finally decided I would call myself an enchanted agnostic with mystical tendencies. I don't find much use for the word God, but I have a faith in a force shaping my life that seems to provide the best path forward. I think many of you have that sense as well. The important point I'm trying to make here is that we need to let go of the anxiety and fears that hold us back. Perhaps this is what reincarnation is all about. Perhaps it's in this life or another, or perhaps it's just in your life now. I find courage as a minister of letting go and letting the Spirit in. It reminds me of an Anglican colleague flying from Glasgow to London, a lot of turbulence in the plane, very bumpy. Everyone was getting nervous. Finally, one of the flight attendants remembered that one of her passengers was the Reverend. So she steadied herself back to the seat and said, "Reverend, could you do something religious about this situation?" And my friend obliged and took up an offering. For the last 3 years as your developmental minister, we've been on this path of liberation and renewal, joy and resistance. I think we've made incredible progress. We've stumbled here or there. Ours is a rocky path in a very rocky time. And even if the path were smooth, right, more than a few of us, myself included, trip over our own feet anyway. You're bound to forget things. You're bound to make an assumption that was incorrect. You're bound to not always put the best part of yourself forward. But the good news for us as Unitarian Universalists is that this is the path. The path may be rocky and hard, but the path leads us to something else. And the way of this faith is costly, but in all the right ways. Francis and I have devoted our lives to the work of ministry. I didn't get much help from my Unitarian upbringing. I wasn't a big fan of Sunday school. That may surprise some of you. Oh, sure, you were like the kid who knew everything in Sunday school, right? No, I wasn't that kid. And the coming of age at the end of 8th grade, I didn't deliver any kind of credo like we do now. Instead, I got a World Bible. Well, the World Bible had in it the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Lotus Sutras, and then also the Christian Gospel and the Hebrew Bible. And they called that a Bible, which was slightly Eurocentric, to put it mildly. I knew a lot about other religions, but I knew very little about my own. I couldn't name my faith if it hit me upside the head. What I know now, and what I do believe deeply, is that we are a people of covenant. The mutual promises we make to one another as we try to live this life with one another and as we live out the religious journey that we're hoping will change the world. We have developed this covenant of right relations, which you will be discussing and ratifying today at our congregational meeting. I want to thank the entire covenant team. Carol, I know you're here. Thank you, Carol. If those folks would stand up, let's give them a quick round of applause. The covenant has been this 2-year journey, 2 years, looking at what the best of us is meant to be, who we are, what we want to be, from the love we show families in need through the work and family promise to the pastoral care we provide those in need at any time, from a teenager working through their gender identity to a family trying to make ends meet to our elders who are facing the end of life. This part of covenant, this part of love, is embodied in who we are. It is part of our journey. It is part of our path. And I believe, not that everyone in the world should be a Unitarian Universalist. That's, again, a little egocentric. But I do believe that a covenant of this kind should be for the whole world. And this covenant is true whether our government thinks it is or not. Last week, the Department of Defense, many of you know, delisted over 200 faith identities as recognized by our military. 200. How is it you can ignore 200 different faiths to millions of people serving our country? And of course that included the Unitarian Universalists, but it included the pagans, and it included all kinds of folks. For a little while there, it included the Mormons, until they proved they were the right kind of Christian, I guess. So what's on this list? Jewish folks, Christians as Christian nationalists define them, and begrudgingly the Muslims. As I wrote about in the newsletter, quoting my colleague, Army Chaplain George Tiger, he said, "We remain part of a religious landscape of the armed forces that is not dependent on the drop-down menu. Let us document any harm," he said. "Let us advocate clearly," he said, "and let us insist that every service member of every faith, or no faith at all, receives the dignity, respect, pastoral care, and religious liberty that our Constitution demands," right? Now, some of you, bless you all, have written me and said, this is not enough. We need action, right? Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Action that needs to be done with other people. And not to tell Reverend Lisa what her job is going to be, but this might be a good start of the many things that we need to stand out. We stand here out of joy and liberation for a faith covenanted for all people, regardless of who they are, regardless of what they hold dear, and regardless of who they love. Can I get an amen? One of my heroes is Father Greg Boyle, who spent his long ministry working with gangs in Los Angeles. Father Boyle looks like your favorite uncle, right? Bearded, pretty big belly, bigger than mine, tattered cardigan. But he has done more to bring peace to the streets of Los Angeles than just about anyone. Literally saving lives through his homeboy industries, employing previously incarcerated people in making cookies and tacos and silkscreen hoodies and a bunch of other stuff. They tried plumbing once, but that didn't work out so well, so they didn't do that. They run a cafe in LA City Hall. They run a cafe at the airport. His work is absolutely inspiring. I once heard Father Boyle speak when I was serving in Los Angeles, and he said this: "Is it that we've just forgotten that we belong to each other? Let's not forget we stand against forgetting who we are. Imagine a circle of compassion, and then imagine nobody standing outside that circle. Could we do that? Can we inch our way out to the margins so that we can stand with the poor and the powerless and the voiceless? Can we stand with those whose dignity has been denied, those whose burdens are more than they can bear? It's possible to be blessed to be able to stand with the easily despised and those readily left out. But can we stand with the demonized so the demonizing will stop? Can we stand with the disposable so the day will come when we stop throwing people away?" He said, "I suspect that if kinship was our goal, we would no longer be promoting justice, we would be celebrating justice. For there's no kinship, where there's no kinship, there's no justice. And if there's no kinship, there's no peace. No kinship, no peace, no kingdom of God." As Jesus said in his native language of Aramaic, it's not kingdom, it's kingdom. That's a prophecy. That's what it means for us to move further along the way with this ministry that we belong to together. And yes, we have done much, and much we should be proud of. People and families and kids, and this place is full on a Sunday, a safe space for people to be who they truly are. Couches and people sitting in them and talking and celebrations. I mean, strawberry shortcake and a Beatles band? Come on, give that up. Yeah. And if you didn't know about the Beatles band, you're going to have to stay. That's what joy as an act of resistance looks like, to use Audre Lorde's words. But we have to go further, of course, don't we? We have to move far beyond these walls, far beyond, to partner with those who are at the margins, the powerless, and especially, as Jesus taught us, those who are so easily despised. Remember in the Beatitudes, blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the earth, or the meek. Remember that, Pete Hegseth? That's what true Christian faith is, by the way. We're called to possess love and love the dispossessed, to love the unlovable. That's not easy to do. And further along the way includes all we are doing to help the unhoused, to marching in pride, to feeding the hungry, or as they say in QVC, but wait, there is more. Part of the more is this upcoming ministry with Reverend Lisa. I am so glad they are with us today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing what you can to make our community a better place and make our faith a better faith. I have to say to you honestly, and I'm being quite honest, you are an amazing congregation. And I'm not just saying that because you pay me. I'm saying that because it's true. Francis and I have served 5 congregations across the country, from the Midwest to the West Coast to the East Coast. I've consulted with many, many more. And we have never seen a people so dedicated to the best of the Holy Spirit, however you define that Holy Spirit. And truly, I can say, we love you. We love you. I may not like you each and every day, but I do love you. That love needs to draw a circle that draws us in. As Phyllis Tickle, the feminist theologian, said in her book, The Great Emergence, we are in the grip of a centrifugal force, which in Latin literally means center-seeking. A force that is necessary, that makes it necessary for us to move in a circular direction. But we, of course, know what happens when you move in a circular direction. You are pushed the other way, right? We've all experienced this in a car. We're turning left, but our bodies go right. Right? We're being pushed into the door. We are being pushed outward when we really want to go inward to the center that is love. That's who we are. It's no wonder we're having a difficult time getting our bearings in this dystopia we're living in, even as the Holy Spirit is gathering us in. Our way forward is not a straight line, friends, but a circle, a spiral, the divine feminine calling us home. As Father Boyle said of his homies, I'm in awe of what the poor have to carry. Wouldn't we rather, instead of standing in judgment at how they carry it, find the measure of compassion to help them carry it? Not only in our service of those on the margins, but in our willingness to see ourselves in kinship with them. Jesus, he said, says it pretty clearly. What if the Messiah is one of us? What if? You've heard the story before, but a quick retelling. There once was a monastery that had fallen on hard times. As the years passed, fewer and fewer novices were coming. The younger monks left in dissatisfaction. Few people in the surrounding villages would come to pay them visit. Eventually, there were only this handful of elderly monks, and they argued amongst themselves, each blaming the monastery's decline on the other's faults. Their leader, the abbot, didn't know what to do, but he had an old friend. The old friend was a rabbi who had recently retired and was living in a small cottage near the monastery. The rabbi and the abbot would sit down together, and they would drink tea, and they would remember the good old days back when they were students. And on one of these visits to see the rabbi, the abbot brought up the problems with the monastery, asked for his advice, and the rabbi was very quiet as he drank his tea. Finally, the abbot couldn't take it anymore and said, "Don't you have some advice that could save the monastery?" And the rabbi put down his teacup and said, "My friend, I can only offer you this. The Messiah is among you. Share that with your monks, and in time, that truth will be revealed." Well, the abbot couldn't wait to get back to the monastery, so he runs back holding his coat, and he breathlessly walks into the monastery and sees the first of the monks, and he says, "Gather the monks together, we're going to have a conversation in the chapel." And they all come together, and he says, "My brothers, I have incredible news. I have just been told, without any room for doubt or question, that the Messiah is among us. It's one of you." The monks immediately began talking to each other. "Messiah, one of us? Here, who, what, who? How could that be?" And they, raising their hands to quiet them, the abbot explained, "This is what the rabbi told me, and he instructed you to go about your work and wait for the Messiah to appear." So this is what they did. And they said, "Well, it couldn't be Brother Samuel, could it? He always forgets when it's his turn to do the washing up after the meals, but then he brings those lovely flowers to decorate the table. Surely it's not Brother Abbott. He's always muttering to himself. When he's not muttering, he's just being rude. But then he's always the first to look in on you when you're sick. What about Brother Leo? He's dirty. He smells. But that's because he works so hard in the field, and we have all these delicious vegetables. I can't believe it's Brother Thomas. He always spills ink all over the desk when we write out the scriptures, but then his drawings and decorations are so vivid and so beautiful." The monks continue to try to figure out who amongst them might be the Messiah, but none of them can come to any conclusion. So they realized that maybe they saw the Messiah in someone's face for a moment, or maybe they heard it in his voice. And they began to treat one another a little more kindly, a little more fairly, just in case. And as time passed, the villagers noticed that there was something different about the monastery, and they would visit more often, they would bring gifts, and more young men came to inquire about training as novices. And the ministry grew again, and the elderly monks and their abbot found themselves at peace and content in their golden years, for the Messiah was always among them. It was always them. Father Boyle said of all of us, he's most impressed by Alice Miller, the great child psychologist, who called all of us to be enlightened witnesses, people who through kindness and tenderness focus on the attention, on the love that we should be bringing to ourselves and those around us. You can't hold the bar up, he said, to see if people measure up. You need to show up and hold up a mirror so you can be there with them. Perhaps you are exactly what God had in mind, he said, when God made us. And we're here to watch people become the truth, inhabit the truth, a truth no bullet can pierce, no four prison walls can keep out, and death cannot touch. What if our further way is to reach and dismantle the messages of shame and disgrace that get in the way so the soul can feel its worth, right? What would happen to any of us today who are struggling with something in our lives, with our families, with ourselves, with our self-worth, what it would happen if we saw ourselves as part of the Messiah, part of the enlightened one, part of the world in this mutual vision of what is to come into being. It's been 40 years since I heard that voice whisper, "Now is the time." I know now, of course, that it's always the time, right? For the great turning to draw us to the center of love. This is the way. This is our way. This is our vision of love that drives us to the center of our faith. The Hebrew prophet Habakkuk once wrote, "For the vision is meant for its appointed time. It speaks of the end, and it does not lie. It may take a while, but wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay." Friends, let's keep going and join our voices together in song as we sing Jason Sheldon's beautiful hymn, "Life Calls Us On." Please rise in body or spirit. Tess Baumberger said that none of us can do this alone. This living, this being in the world, we know that we need one another, especially now. May we be the tenders of the flames we've kindled today. And even as it is extinguished, may it light your way and brighten the path for others, those who have yet to follow. So may it be, my friends. for the service now truly begins. Amen. Please be seated for the post salute.